And I didn't really know what was happening. I just thought he was coming home late.
I understand.
My mother, she said I must have done something to make him angry. Like it's my fault. I couldn't understand it. She's my mother. She's supposed to be on my side.
I know it's difficult, but for now, try to surround yourself with people. I'm sorry. Let me just. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Yes. Yes, I know. All right, put him through. So soon? Are you sure that's a good idea? I already told you we could file an injunction to buy us more time. All right. I'm sorry, Ms. Reynolds. Business with another client.
It's fine.
So, after your husband came home?
I've never been so scared of anything my whole life. But that night
It's okay. Take your time.
No, Malcolm, he bought me that gun. He said it was for my protection. But I never in a million years thought he'd be the one I needed to.
It can wait.
I'm sorry, this just arrived. Instructions for you to open it immediately.
I seriously doubt they mean this exact second.
Does actually. The courier's still waiting. Says that he won't leave until you read the note that's inside.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to finish this another time.
Calm down, Reese. Everything's gonna work out. Shit.
The city of Rajak, people are cheering. The streets are crowded. Shirkat's longtime supreme leader and dictator, Hagan, has finally stepped down. International pressure has been mounting for weeks as a small African nation has become a pariah state, even to its most ardent defenders. Dingain has accepted exile.
Come on, asshole!
from the eastern countries. In exchange, he will not be tried in the ICC. However, he will never again be.
Beneath their blankets, their
special, they're intangible. I found my place in southern France, became a legend like Lazarus, walked to his lair with painted nails, a few veils to veil my prayers. I kissed a dragon, and it tasted good. I prayed to the dragon, for the sake of the hood. I'm done dancing with my brooms. I'm done standing in my brother's shares. All of the people I say.
Okay, you prick. You want to threaten me? That's what we're gonna do?
Jane Swartz in Cleveland. The Guardians. That
Shit.
means the Indians, have
Damn
lost
it.
The last 4 World Series that they participated in. 3 games to none against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Guardians are looking to end a drought that lasts all the way back to the 1940s.
The memories faded. I forgot there were secrets. Nobody told me to let them go. In order to do so, I had to unleash them. I needed instruction.
So this is actually happening?
No, you've got to do it. Because I'm under too much scrutiny as it is.
It's just how it is. I don't make the rules. Don't you think I know that? Oh, yeah, I'm still listening. No, I can't come. Because I'm not in the office. I just needed to take care of a few things. Okay, well, I'll be back on Monday. Yes, I'm sure. Because I said so. All right, look, I'm going to hang up on you now. Goodbye.
Who might you be?
Just stay calm, Becky. Stay calm. It's all gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be fine. Fuck. Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Fuck. What a shithole.
Heather Marks, attorney at law. Ms. Marks, and you are... No. Heather Marks, and you might be... That one's not bad. Hi, I'm Heather. Right.
Is it that time already?
Well, since it looks like we're all going to the same spot.
Does anybody have any idea what the fuck is going on? Yesterday morning, some punk is banging on my door at the ass crack of dawn. He wouldn't stop. When I opened the door, it turns out it's not just some random punk, it's a courier, and he's got a package. Do you know what was inside that package?
A letter telling you to be in this room at noon.
Exactly. Now, which one of you sent it? Huh? Was it you?
I got the same letter. 2 room keys, right? I've reserved a room for your privacy and comfort. Use it as you see fit. I look forward to meeting you. That's all it said.
I got the same letter.
What the fuck?
What in God's name are we doing here?
Would either of you two care to contribute?
I have no idea who sent us these letters or why they chose today of all days. After everything that's happened, I was planning on spending it inside. Alone.
Me too.
Well, whining about it isn't going to help. We might as well wait for our mystery guest to arrive.
Why alone?
What?
You said you planned on spending the whole day alone. After everything that's happened, what's so special about today?
Because today is the 1-year anniversary of my aunt's death.
What'd you say?
You and your aunt have a good relationship?
Hardly.
Did you say 1-year anniversary?
Your aunt wouldn't happen to be Kendall Washington, would she?
How do you know that?
Son of a bitch!
Her niece?
What the hell is going on? How did you know who my aunt was?
I was one of the people accused of killing her. By the deafening silence, I'm gonna guess the rest of you knew Kendall too. I knew it.
You knew what?
The moment I got that fucking note, I knew it had something to do with Kendall. Even after she's dead, she's still managing to fuck me over.
What's that supposed to mean?
Means... Listen, just a minute ago when I asked if you were close, you blew me off.
That's not what you asked.
What?
You asked if we had a good relationship. We didn't. But since my father's dead and she hadn't spoken to my mother for the better part of a decade, I was the closest family she had.
Well, whatever. Point is your aunt ruined my life.
And mine.
And you are?
Reese Wilton. Your aunt and I were competitors. We're both in the real estate world, and we always seemed to be bidding against each other. I was in the process of building an office tower downtown when she sued me. Said that it was going to block her view of the lake from several of her properties, thus ruining their property value. Judge threw the case out, of course. She ruined my business in the process. When she was murdered, the police spent the next several months digging through every aspect of my life. I hope that episode was the last indignity that she would put me through, but here we are. It's like you said. Even in death, she's finding ways to fuck with us.
Police looked into me as well.
And you are?
Marks. Heather Marks. I used to work for Kendall, in a manner of speaking. I was part of the law firm Fisher and Hamill. As head of one of our biggest accounts, I had earned the reputation for being thorough, efficient, so long as the owner of that account was kept happy. Then Kendall had me transferred, and in all the reshuffling, I lost my place at the firm. Of course, I was devastated. For the next 11 months, I tried to get my own firm started. Then Kendall died, and the investigation ruined everything. Larger clients didn't want to touch me. They still don't.
And you?
What?
Don't pretend you're not involved in this. How did you know Kendall?
Art.
Huh?
Art. I knew her through art.
Care to explain?
My name is Gordon. I'm an independent art dealer. Looking for a Rothko original? I know where you can buy one. You have a Jackson Pollock, but you're not sure if it's a fake or the real thing? I know where you can get it authenticated. For people with expensive tastes and a lot of money, they've got two options. They can either overpay at Sotheby's, or they can hire someone like me. As far as why I'm here, it's because Kendall hired me several times before she died.
And?
And what?
Everybody else here has bad blood with the deceased. You just expect us to believe you and Kendall got along just fine?
Okay, fine. A couple of weeks before Kendall died, she backed out of a deal. A deal that I worked really hard to find a buyer for. A charming German gentleman with very particular tastes. When she nixed that deal, I lost a lot of money. And then she goes around and tells people that I'm the one who backed out. In a town this size, word travels fast. I lost a lot of my bigger clients. And before you ask, yes, the police turned my life upside down for several months. Satisfied?
Not really, but at least we're getting somewhere. You. Niece, girl.
My name is Hope.
Right, yeah. You said that you and your aunt weren't getting along. Was that a recent development?
Yes.
Well?
She's the owner of something very important to me. Before she died, she told me she was planning on selling it. I got upset. The last time we spoke, we argued about it, and well, I might have told her to drop dead. What about you? You've been pretty keen on demanding answers from all of us. What's your name, huh? And why are you in here with the rest of us?
I already told you. Your aunt ruined my life.
We were hoping you'd be a bit more specific.
Okay, well, my name is Alex Dragomir. I was the event manager for Paladin Catering. We did weddings, funerals, bat mitzvahs, worked with City Hall.
Okay, that's all quite impressive. How did you know Kendall?
About a year and a half ago, she hired me for a private gala. A bunch of the guests got sick. She claimed it was food poisoning. Lost my job and most of my savings, and now I run a food truck downtown. It's less glamorous, a lot less lucrative, but at least I don't have to deal with assholes like Kendall Washington anymore, so it's not all bad.
And were you a suspect when she died?
Yeah. She died of an allergic reaction. Can you imagine? I must have heard it a million times when I was working for her. Nothing with saffron, nothing that might have touched saffron. Somebody kills her, and how do they do it? With fucking saffron. Of course they thought it was me.
All right, we get it.
Yes, I think that clears that up. Now,
Wait. We still don't know who you are.
well, you might as well tell us. We're in this together.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And
I'm Becky Horvath. I'm the one who killed Kendall.
Oh, shit.
You?
You're the unnamed runner?
So you were there when my aunt died? The police still haven't released your name.
Well, it appears whoever brought us here really did their homework.
Please, tell me what happened.
didn't you hear about it enough?
Yeah, from the pigs. Not from someone who was there, someone who knew her.
I didn't know her, not really.
But you were there with her, right?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
The police said it was accidental.
I'd really rather not.
Please.
Come on, what's the harm?
I've spent the last year living that moment. I keep reliving it over and over again.
What happened?
Look, if there was anything I could have done differently, then I would have.
Come on, get on with it.
I used to jog at the same park as Kendall. We'd see each other sometimes, wave, maybe say hello. There was a bench I liked to sit on. It was at the top of a hill next to a big staircase. Kendall would sit there sometimes too. And one day we started talking. I mean, we were never friends, not really, but we were friendly. On the day she died, I had gone out early. I was sitting on the bench, catching my breath before I finished my run to go toward the car. When I got to the parking lot, Kendall was there. We started talking for a couple minutes, and while we were talking, she patted my shoulder. I didn't think anything of it. And then she started coughing, gasping, grasping at her throat with both hands. She spat and sputtered, but she couldn't speak. I ran for my phone, but when I got there, she had stumbled at her car and was fumbling for the door. I called 911, but by the time I got there, it was too late. She was dead.
You did the right thing. A lot of us might have been tempted to not even call.
How long would you say it took?
So there it is.
Think she suffered?
I can still see her scratching her throat, clawing like an animal. No one deserved that.
How long were the police looking at you?
They must have asked me a million questions. When did you get to the park? Did you see anyone? Had anyone been acting strangely? They even took my clothes. It turns out there was saffron all over them. That's what killed her. Someone had expected her to sit there far from help. No one thought I'd end up dosing her in the parking lot. I mean, the police must have called me a dozen times every time they needed to re-examine something. I mean, I must have gone down to the station another dozen times, maybe more. I've been taking them down that hiking trail more times than I can count.
Someone set a trap.
Except she got to me first.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Somebody's fault.
Look, I can still see her when I close my eyes.
Have you considered seeing a therapist? I know several I could recommend.
Dr. Bannon says I've got PTSD. I thought a diagnosis would help, but I still see her.
Now it's us who are caught in the trap.
What?
I said now it's us who are caught in the trap.
I heard what you said. What did you mean by it?
Isn't it obvious?
No, it very much is not.
6 strangers, all of whom are connected to Kendall Washington. 5 of which had good reason to kill her. For good measure, We have the person who actually delivered the poison.
The allergen.
Right, yeah, whatever. Point is that someone went to a lot of trouble to bring us here. I think the reason why is pretty obvious.
Someone wants revenge?
Someone's trying to solve the murder.
Precisely. Lock the 5 most likely suspects in a room together. Locked in with the sole witness to Kendall's death.
It's ridiculous. There were more than 24 suspects.
At first, sure. But how many were still being investigated a week after the murder? How many were still suspects 3 months after the crime? Just us, I'd imagine.
That makes sense to me.
So who did it? Who invited us here? Oh, come on. We didn't just invite ourselves.
Maybe they're trying to warm us up first. You know? Put us in here like a pressure cooker until our host is ready to show up.
Pressure cooker, huh? I am not interested in being cooked.
Exactly. I have no interest in being anyone's pawn.
But what if they've solved it? After everything we've been through, don't you want to know who's responsible for all this?
I mean, I'm the one who's responsible.
Not what she meant. What she meant was
But
the person that planned all this. The person that put us all through hell. If somebody's cracked this case, I'm more than happy about watching it on Fox 8 or whatever.
Really?
Really.
Are you joking?
You don't want the chance to confront them, to look them in the eye, to watch them as the police haul their ass to jail?
I hadn't thought about that.
Well, I have. That's what I want. I want to look in that motherfucker's eye, and I want to have the satisfaction of watching them realize they've been caught.
Please, can we just stop talking about this?
I want to know that this is finally over. I want my fucking life back. So we're all going to be patient, and we're all going to wait for the mystery host. And then we can put this whole awful business to bed.
All right. Look, I've no interest around sitting around here looking like an idiot. My letter came with 2 cards, right? Well, I'm going to go next door. I'll be in room 232 if you need me.
Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Hey, it's getting pretty intense in here. Whenever our host gets here, we can figure it all out together, but until then, if you need me, I'm in room 231.
And how do we know you won't run? One of you could be the killer.
I'm in 236. Can watch the walkway from my window.
And who's going to watch you? I don't think it's a good idea.
It's right next to me. I'm in 235. You know, whoever this person is, they booked our rooms, right? They know where to find us.
I don't think this is a good idea. We should all stay here.
We've been cooped up in this motel all morning. Besides, if somebody tries to run, that kind of solves the mystery, doesn't it?
I don't know.
No, Gordon's right. It's better than all of us waiting here.
Pressure cooker, huh?
I think we should wait here.
What room are you in, huh?
I'm next door, but that is beside the point.
Great. You're 234, he's 235, I'm 236, Hope is 231, and Reese's Pieces is 232.
Reese Wilton. And that leaves Jogger Girl in 230.
No, I'm not.
You sure?
I can read my own damn room number. I'm 229.
All right, so she's 1 room over. Can we just get going?
Wait. Not so fast. The person who brought us here. They booked our rooms all together, 231 through 236. Why wouldn't they put Becca in 230?
Becky.
Maybe the room was booked?
Have you looked outside? We're the only ones here.
Does it even matter? Maybe the room's trashed.
Look where we are. We're in the middle of nowhere. This isn't the kind of room that people rent out to have a party.
I'm sorry, but is there a point to all this conjecture?
I think the person that brought us here is hiding in 230.
Oh, wait. What are
Why
we...
wait here when we can go to them?
You want to go over there?
I'm ready to go.
I'm not so sure that's a good idea.
What are you afraid of?
I don't want to kick up a hornet's nest.
The nest got kicked a year ago. We all got stung. Now we're just ripping off the Band-Aid.
What are you expecting to find over there?
I don't know. Answers? A surveillance team? Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but what's the harm in looking?
Are we sure it's even safe?
Sure as hell beats waiting here.
I suppose.
Okay, fine, but we should be careful.
We should all go together.
Yes, together.
That way no one can be made to look suspicious for coming or going, and no one can run off while the rest of us is distracted.
That's a good idea.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
I'm staying here.
What?
I'm not going. I'm staying right here.
Like hell you are.
Calm down, man, all right?
It's like the lawyer said. We all go. That way we're in this together.
I'm not going.
Come on. What are you afraid of?
Look at us. We're all involved in this mess and none of us wanted to be. Kendall managed to ruin everything, including the way she died. Everything associated with her turns to shit. You're all assuming that whoever brought us here has good intentions. How do you know that, huh? How do you know it's not going to be worse? I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. I just want to go home.
Listen, whatever trouble there is, you don't want to face it alone, do you?
No.
Whatever's in that room, it isn't something we can't handle. As a team. I know it's scary, but that's why we need to stay together. I mean, we all suffered through the last year, and I'll be the first one to admit, it sucked. But maybe it's time to start trusting other people. Don't you think?
Okay.
That's the spirit. Come on.
Hello? Hello? Whoever's inside, we know you're in there. We know why you brought us here, so you might as well just open up.
Maybe there's no one here after all.
Wait here. I'm going to go get something from my car. Aha.
Well, hey.
All right, let's see here. Open sesame.
Well,
Did he just...
I don't think breaking and entering is a very good look for us.
Relax, all right?
How did you learn how to do that?
I'm a real estate developer. Do you know how many of these things I've built?
Well, that's not very reassuring.
Listen, it's open. Are we going in or what? What the hell?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Is he...
He's dead.
Are you sure?
He's not even warm.
Could he have had a heart attack, or...
Oh, look, on his neck.
Someone must have injected him with something.
Holy shit.
This is more than I signed up for.
Well, it's not like we volunteered for this assignment. More like we were drafted.
It doesn't look like there's been a scuffle.
Okay, so?
So it must have happened fast, is all I'm saying.
Really? I thought you were a caterer. You never mentioned moonlighting for the forensic unit.
I have eyes.
Look, she's right. Look around. There's no sign of a struggle.
That doesn't prove anything. Someone could have cleaned up the room.
They put his body right in the middle of the floor. The whole purpose of cleaning up a crime scene is to make it look less like a crime scene.
Why should we care whether or not there was a fight?
Because it tells us 3 things. 1, the victim let the killer get right up close. He wasn't expecting an attack. Secondly, whoever did this, they killed him quickly. And 3rd, the killer was careful to keep it quiet. He didn't want anybody else to hear a struggle.
Whoa! Stop the presses. Of course he didn't want anybody to hear. He was committing murder. No one wants to have somebody hear you when you're killing somebody. Hypothetically, I mean. Listen, if you're going to kill somebody that... Look, the point is, this is not the major revelation that you think it is. Somebody wanted this fellow dead, and the best way to do it is quickly. That way, there's less things to go wrong and less ways to get caught. This isn't rocket science.
Isn't that Lars, Eklund,
Ekstrom. Lars Ekstrom.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Who's Lars Ekstrom?
Ekstrom. He's a detective, a world-famous detective.
I think he's Swedish, right?
Yeah.
A Swedish detective.
Yeah, he solved that Ingalls kidnapping case. Remember that girl who disappeared from Edinburgh?
Yeah. He also figured out the thing with the train, remember?
Yeah.
How the hell do you know this person?
He had a series on HBO.
I think I've solved it. To vex their souls. There were 6 episodes. Each one was about a different murder. It was fascinating.
Why would a Swedish detective come here?
Someone probably hired him.
For what?
To solve Kendall's murder, obviously.
How'd that work out for him?
What the hell's the matter with you? A man is dead.
Hardly my fault.
Well, for all we know, you could have been the one who murdered
It's my
him.
fault. It's all my fault. If she hadn't died, if no one would have been here right now, no one would have hired some Swedish detective.
What?
I know this isn't easy.
Yeah.
Listen, this isn't easy for any of us. But it's got to be harder on you. I mean, you were there.
It was awful.
Whoever's responsible for the murder, whoever's really responsible, they're the one we got to watch out for.
What do you mean?
Listen, everyone in that room hated Kendall's guts, and even her own niece hated her. Do you think anyone was sad to hear that she had died? Because I wasn't. I didn't feel sad at all. She was always talking down to people, like she's better than us.
Do you think you could you have brought yourself to kill her?
Well, don't tell the people in there, but, yeah, probably.
Really?
Sure. I think everyone's got it in them if they're pushed far enough. I mean, we all like to think we're better than that, so we never even think of doing that sort of thing. But people have a darker side. It takes effort to be better.
When I went to the park that day, I wasn't expecting to see her. I came early, you know? I was going to my car, and she waved and started talking. And then she patted my shoulder. She touched me.
Listen, you couldn't have known the bench was dosed.
Okay, but if she had just passed me by, or if I'd heard it on the news, but she touched me, Gordon, then I had to watch her die a slow and agonizing death. I saw terror in her eyes. That's what keeps me up at night. Now there's this too.
Yeah, well, whoever the killer is, they were much more merciful on Lars than they were on Kendall. This whole thing's a mess.
God, I just want it to be over. I just want us all to move on.
It'll be over soon.
You think so?
I know so.
How? What do you know that the others don't?
Nothing.
Well, then how can you be so sure?
It has to eventually. Listen, life is like a rubber band. The further outside of normal it gets, the more it wants to get back to the center.
No offense, but that sounds like bullshit.
All right, well, just believe me that something is going to happen to bring this all to a head.
Right.
Just wait. You'll see.
I can't believe... Look at her. She's about to have a panic attack.
For all we know, she could be faking it. I mean, she is the one who covered Kendall and Saffron after all. Maybe she planned this whole thing from the start. We don't know.
She's right outside the door.
Gordon went out with her.
Do we trust Gordon?
Are you implying that the two of them planned this together?
I don't know. It's just, they seem awfully cozy for people who just met each other an hour ago.
For Christ's sake. He's trying to show the poor girl an ounce of compassion. Is that really such a foreign concept to you? What motive could she have for killing Kendall?
I don't know.
If she planned to kill Aunt Kendall, why didn't she flee the crime scene? You don't call 911 for someone you're trying to kill.
I don't know. I'm just saying we can't take anything for granted here. Not even Little Miss fucking Shiver Me Timbers out there.
Reese, you're an asshole.
Hey,
Wait, what's wrong?
There's something under the bed.
What is it?
Is that what I think it is?
What is it?
Oh my god.
What is it?
On the show, Lars was meticulous. He buys a new notebook for each case and writes out every detail.
The notebook is the detective's best friend. It allows him to keep track of every detail.
There's information about you too, Reese.
You too here, Alex.
Clearly there's information on all of us.
Turn to the end, the last page.
Why?
On the show, Lars wrote out all of his pet theories at the end of the book. If he solved Kendall's murder, he would have written it there.
Shit. Pages are ripped out.
God damn it.
Whoever did this was clever enough to have destroyed that piece of evidence, which means they likely knew who Lars was.
Hey, why are you all looking at me? Whoever did this could be lying about not knowing who he was, okay? The show was on HBO. Any one of us could have seen it.
She's not wrong.
So where does that leave us?
Back to square one.
Well, as fun as this little adventure has been, I think it's time that we call the cops.
Wait!
The hell are you doing?
Are we sure that we want to call the police?
Why the hell wouldn't we?
Because now we're all involved in another murder, that's why.
I don't understand.
If you're suggesting what I think
We're
you...
in Richfield right now, right? The same town where Kendall died. There's been another murder, and over the last few minutes, we've all managed to contaminate the crime scene.
Shit.
Not that it probably matters. The police here had a whole year to solve Kendall's murder, didn't they? How'd that turn out? Look, the body's already cold. Okay, whoever killed him, they killed him hours ago, but why? Why kill Lars Ekstrom? There's only one reason for wanting him dead. He was going to finger them for Kendall's murder.
That all makes sense, but how does that help us?
Exactly. Look, as interesting as this all is, it doesn't give us any less reason to call the police.
Because the killer's here, don't you get it? Look, Lars came here to confront us all together, right? Why? To reveal the killer. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Think that makes sense?
That the killer's one of us? Yeah, I do.
We don't know that. They could have ripped the pages involving them out of the notebook.
Look for yourself. Are any other pages missing?
No.
Look, Kendall's murder was planned ahead of time. This was all rushed. A crime of necessity. The killer knew that Lars invited all of the primary suspects here. He even included the sole witness to Kendall's death. It wouldn't be hard to figure out who he wanted to be here. You could probably just call the courier company, and not showing up, it's a sure way to get yourself caught. No, the killer left and came back later, just like the rest of us. Now they're just playing dumb and hiding in plain sight.
So you think one of us killed Ekstrom?
The only reason to invite us all here is if one of us killed Kendall. Go big or go home.
Or the penitentiary.
So why shouldn't we call the police?
Because they had a whole year to solve Kendall's murder and accomplished nothing. How confident are you that they'll solve this?
I don't know.
Look, who's more motivated than us to see that this gets solved? You said the investigation was like living through hell. You sure you want to go through that again? Because that's what'll happen if we call the cops. They're gonna bumble their way in here and fuck it all up, except now we'll all be suspects in 2 murders. How well do you think your law firm will do then, huh? How many developers are gonna be willing to look the other way? We can't trust the police. Even though they destroyed his solution, we still have all of the clues that Lars used to get there. No, I say we figure this out and nail this fucker. Together.
That's absurd.
Oh, wait a minute. I think she's onto something here.
You're not actually listening to this cock and bull scheme, are you?
How long are we going to wait before we call the police? Eventually, somebody's going to find Lars's body. When they find it, your fingerprints are going to be all over it.
You're right.
Doesn't that scare you?
Sauce for the goose.
What the hell does that mean?
It means I'm even more motivated to solve this thing. We all are. Every one of us could have left a hair or a fingerprint in this room.
Shit, that doesn't look good.
Unless we've already solved it. Look, it's just past 1 o'clock. Let's give ourselves until midnight to figure this out. If we haven't solved it by then fuck it, let's call the police. But let's at least give ourselves a chance to work our way clear.
And what if not every one of us agrees?
I'd say that running makes him look awfully guilty.
Excuse me?
5 of us desperately want this to be over. But there's one person here that desperately wants any investigation to fail. Now, this only works if we all stick together. Hell, even our petrified chihuahua out there might sleep a little easier once she knows who set her up.
A chihuahua? I don't think so. They're scrappy little bastards. She's more like a bichon. You know, those little white...
Is this really necessary?
Let's make a pact. Okay? We all stay at the hotel until midnight. If we haven't figured it out by then, we can call the police. As an added incentive, anybody who tries to run, we offer up their name as our chief suspect.
This is a bad idea.
This is how we end this.
I'm in.
Really?
Do you have a better idea? She's right about the local police. They couldn't catch a cold. And I, for one, do not want to spend the rest of this year under a microscope. This is how we get ourselves out from underneath this thing? Say we go for it.
Has it not occurred to any of you that Alex could be the real killer? And then maybe she's just saying this so we won't call the police? Maybe she just wants the trail to go cold.
Looks pretty cold to me already.
Think it over. Took the police about 5 minutes to get to Kendall. Did that make a difference? Did they dazzle you with their investigative prowess? Did they impress you with their investigating skills? Because they for sure as shit didn't impress me.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Now what about you, Miss Marks? Are you in or are you out?
I'm going to regret this.
Okay.
But we call the authorities the moment the clock strikes midnight, got it?
Of course.
Strikes midnight? You afraid one of us is going to turn into a pumpkin?
You know what she means.
Must be going crazy.
Not going crazy, you're playing the odds.
Well, considering everything that's happened, none of our odds are looking very good.
I wouldn't say that.
What do you mean?
One of us got exceptionally lucky. They got away with murder.
That's not very reassuring.
We have to take the world as it is, not the way we want it to be.
I think I prefer be the change you wish to see in the world.
Social justice claptrap.
You have a problem with social justice, Reese?
It's a matter of...
Don't we have more pressing matters to attend to? Okay. Let's get this over with.
No, we should call the police.
We will at midnight.
We should call them now.
Listen, that's easy for you to say. You don't have as much to lose as the rest of us.
How do you figure?
The authorities didn't even release your name to the press. You haven't been drugged through the mud like the rest of us.
Okay, that's not my decision. What do you want me to do about that?
Nothing. I'm just stating facts.
You're not seriously considering this too, are you?
Local police haven't exactly proven themselves.
This is absurd.
It's fair.
It's torture. I mean, do you know how hard it is to go over this over and over and over again? Reliving those horrifying moments is agonizing. I just want to go home.
Yeah, well, as the great philosopher Richard Starkey used to say, if you want to play the blues, first you gotta pay your dues. And you know what? It don't come easy.
What?
It don't come easy.
No, I don't...
It's just a bad joke. And that's not even how the song goes.
What are you talking about?
That's not the song.
I've listened to that song 1,000,000 times.
Well, then you should know better. It goes, if you haven't paid your dues, then you can't sing the blues.
That's not how it goes. First it starts, if you want to sing the blues...
Are you two being serious right now?
If you want to sing the blues...
Reese!
Okay, let's begin. Now, this detective.
Lars Ekstrom.
Right, Detective Lars. He wrote down what he believed to be the most important information in this notebook, right? The killer must have known that. They ripped out all the information about themselves, but the rest of the notebook is still intact. Everything that Lars used to get to the solution is in here. Everything we need is in this notebook.
So what do we do now? Pass the book around?
I was thinking it might be easier to go over all of the pertinent information together. We all know that we look guilty, okay? We're all in the same boat. There's no reason to keep secrets from one another.
There's one reason.
The smartest thing would be to go through this one by one.
Who gets to choose who gets interrogated first? You?
No. Lars put us in here in an order that made sense to him. Maybe we should just follow his lead. Okay. Kendall's death. Okay. Nice and easy. Rebecca Horvath, age 34. Says that you have a master's degree in visual media. You have vanity license plates on your car that says nature lover. You are gluten intolerant and have type 2 diabetes. It says that you met Kendall while jogging.
That's right.
It says that you donate a couple grand a year to the Wildlife Preservation Society. And...
What?
It says under occupation that you own a yarn shop in Ridgefield.
Yeah, so?
You earn enough to make a living all the way out here?
Where is it?
Pearls of Wisdom off 176.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
A yarn store in the middle of nowhere.
Actually, we were just interviewed by Pom Pom Quarterly. And we don't just sell yarn. We sell patterns and needles, obviously. And a lot of knitters love scented candles, so we have a whole section of that on there.
We get the idea.
The point is, there are a lot of crafters out here. And we're in between a tea shop and a local bookstore, so we do okay.
Is that it?
No, before she owned a yarn store, it looks like she spent a couple of years in Greenpeace.
So you're one of those.
What do you mean by that?
Tree hugger.
That's enough. What's your problem with trees?
Usually in the way.
I'd like to see you try to breathe without trees.
Okay, moving on.
The documentary made Lars's notebook seem like it was going to be more dramatic.
Well, I'm sorry that the double murder we're implicated in isn't exciting enough for you.
Moving on.
Here.
Why? What difference does it make?
Because I don't trust anyone else in this room except myself.
It's just...
What, do you have something to hide?
Fine.
Here we go. Hope Freeman, age 21. Says you went to Oberlin, but you dropped out to make YouTube videos?
I'm an influencer.
How's that working for you?
Being a murder suspect makes it hard to attract sponsors.
Really? Thought that might help.
You're thinking true crime. I'm not interested in talking about dead girls and sociopathic weirdos.
It says you moved in with Kendall after your father died, and that Kendall inherited some of your grandfather's estate, including an Egyptian statue. That last part circled in red.
Yes, my great-grandfather worked for Pierre Monte.
Who's Pierre Monte?
Only the most important Egyptologist in the world. He led the excavation of Tanis.
We supposed to know where that is?
Only 3 pharaohs' tombs have ever been found intact. Monte's the one who found them. He also uncovered Shoshank II.
Wait, the guy that found King Tut?
No, Tutankhamun was buried in the Valley of the Kings.
And is that near...
Tanis? No, they're 200 miles apart. And by the time Shoshank became pharaoh, he just didn't.
So your grandfather...
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, right. What does your great-grandfather's work in Egypt have anything to do with Kendall's murder?
It was a different time. People working on the expedition were allowed to take home trinkets of lesser value. He chose a set of statues from Shoshank's tomb. After World War II, the items removed from that burial chamber exploded in value. His only daughter, my grandmother, sold most of them off shortly after he died, but she kept one as a family heirloom, an heirloom she promised to me.
It says here that the statue's worth several $1 million.
Yes, it was worth a lot of money, but I had no intention of selling it.
And you told your aunt to drop dead over this statue?
Our family's legacy. My ancestors were brought to England in chains, and a century after they got their freedom, we were still shackled by poverty. You know, folks like to say that those tombs were cursed, but for my great-grandfather, it was a gift from God. Okay, that money allowed my grandparents to go to university, to move to New York, to buy land up and down the Cuyahoga Valley. Aunt Kendall's little real estate empire was built on those foundations. That statue was the last direct connection to us from our past. And she wanted to sell it for a fucking land deal? It wasn't her legacy to sell, it belongs to me too.
So, what happened to it? The statue?
I don't know.
You don't know?
The police never found it. When they questioned me, they said she'd been seen carrying it with her. Then they thought that I killed her for it.
Carrying it?
That's right.
How big was the statue?
About...
And you still don't know where it is?
I've looked everywhere. Kendall's house, her office, her car. I even went with the police to go to her safety deposit box. It's gone.
And you were angry that she was going to sell off your family's legacy.
You're damn right I was angry. But that doesn't mean I killed her.
Still, it's obvious why the police were keen on you to have done something so personal. I mean, I would have understood if you had killed her.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Let's keep our heads together, all right? There's plenty of suspects to go through. Well. There's quite a bit of information here on you, Miss Marks.
Well, you might as well read it, but I already told you the truth.
Well, that's what we're here to find out. Gordon?
Heather Bethany Marks, 38 years old.
I didn't know my age mattered. Did you want my social security number too?
You said you worked for Fisher and Hamill, but it says here that you left 5 years ago.
Well, if you're getting technical.
In fact, you didn't work for Fisher and Hamill. You worked for Kendall directly.
I was acting as a liaison between her and the firm.
It also says that you lived in her house.
She wanted me available at all times, day or night. And it's not like it was her house. There were 4 buildings on the property. You could have housed 3 families there, and they would have never seen each other. Isn't that right?
It sure is.
Doesn't quite explain this next bit, though.
What next bit?
2 years ago, you were caught perpetrating fraud and were almost disbarred. Then you publicly threatened Kendall by saying, and I quote, "I will choke the life out of you, you fucking cunt." The word cunt even has an exclamation point after it.
When does it not?
I think that warrants an explanation.
In one way or another, I worked for her for the better part of a decade. I did everything she asked. What did that get me? Fucked. She had this useless old building downtown. It was one of her holdings. It would have cost a fortune to renovate. She was looking to buy some land, and the owner offered her a chance to swap one of his parcels for the downtown property, 1 for 1. Kendall knew the building was in worse shape than it looked. It wasn't worth half as much as the parcel she'd be getting in return. She asked me to assemble the documents necessary to make the building look up to code, backdated so that she could later claim that the building had deteriorated without her knowledge. As a notary, my signature carries legal weight. Now, normally I would never try anything like this, but the truth is, lies like this are common. If the other developer didn't want to do the proper due diligence, well then, caveat emptor. So against my better judgment, I did what she asked. When the proverbial shit hit the fan, Kendall left me holding the bag. And then she had the gall to fire me. I lost my job, my benefits. I even lost my home. They didn't even give me a lousy severance. Even now, no firm in this state will touch me. But I didn't kill her. Guess that about covers it, yes?
That's the long and short of it.
Wonderful. Who's next?
Hey!
What?
He's trying to flip past himself. Give me the book.
Here, take it.
Thank you.
It's all gonna come out eventually.
Damn straight it is. Really, Gordon?
Not proud of it.
Proud of what? What do you do?
Well, according to Lars here, Gordon's not very good with money. Says he went bankrupt. Twice.
I don't see how that has anything to do with Kendall's murder.
Because of your money troubles, you were trying to find more creative ways to earn some extra income. It appears that Gordon would often quote the buyers higher than the sellers were asking. Since all the money went through him, he could pocket the difference. According to Lars here, he skimmed over $500,000 off his clients.
So you're a thief.
I'm underpaid. In my profession, finder's fees are insultingly low. Meanwhile, these entitled pricks are dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I took a couple grand. They didn't even notice.
Except Kendall did.
That doesn't surprise me.
Apparently she was trying to sell a particularly rare piece. Gordon said that he could get $3.5 million for it, but told the buyer that she was selling it for $4 million.
Well,
That's more than a couple $1,000s.
It's not like it sounds.
When Kendall found out, she backed out of the deal. However, the buyer had already put his money into Gordon's account, and he had spent some of it. He drained his life savings just to pay the guy back. Then she badmouthed him to all of her rich friends, and he was essentially shut out of the market.
So you had 500,000 reasons why you wanted her dead.
Who was I hurting, huh? Kendall was more than willing to sell at that price. So who's the victim?
yeah, you just rationalize it all you want.
When Kendall finally backed off, I paid back the money. Out of my own pocket. But that wasn't enough. She wanted revenge. She called museums and collectors. If she had just left me out high and dry, that would have been fine. I would have understood. But no. She raised my career. She salted the fucking earth. She ruined me. Do you know how hard it is to make a living? I lost my home. I had 3 cars. Now I've spent the last 18 months scraping for every last dime.
All the more reasons to kill her with.
Fuck you, Reese. Why don't we see what Lars had to say about you?
I already told you. We were rivals. She ruined my business.
I'd say there's a bit more to it than that.
Here, let me see that. Holy shit.
What? What is it?
Well, let's start by saying that Reese's financial problems were much more serious than he let on.
What do you mean?
Apparently, Reese wasn't just a real estate developer. He also had his hands in money laundering and interstate bribery. Apparently, he helped several members of city council cover up money they'd taken from organized crime. And when the FBI found out in 2007, he sold out his partners in crime by turning state's witness. In exchange for testifying, he got immunity.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
That's not the half of it. See, Reese wasn't able to keep his nose clean for long. He made a small fortune flipping properties in the Great Recession.
I'm a businessman and an aggressive one. It's not illegal.
No, flipping isn't illegal, but bribery is. According to this, Reese paid appraisers to undervalue properties he wanted. Because of the market collapse, people were desperate. Reese made a killing by ripping them off and flipping the properties, which he had reappraised at the real value once they were legally his.
I mean, that's pretty shitty, but it's hardly motive for murder.
No, not by itself. But one of the people he screwed over was Kendall Washington. In 2008, she was caught in a credit crunch and she sold Reese 3 parcels. But she paid attention when he sold them off within 3 months, noting the different appraisal values, so she sued him. Well, unfortunately for her, Reese covered his tracks. But the suit caught the attention of the FBI. Part of his immunity deal involved keeping his nose clean, and you didn't have to be Sherlock Holmes to see that something fishy was going on. Financial malfeasance. Isn't that just a fancy word for being a crook?
It's 2 words.
Reese didn't have anyone to rat out this time. He served 9 years.
I bought low and sold high. How can you, of all people, judge me?
I wasn't lying about the value of the art, and I wasn't preying on anyone's desperation.
Bullshit.
My clients got what I promised them, and they had peace of mind knowing that I'd take care of the red tape. Besides, most of the people I stole from were rich. Like, any one of them could have gone to Sotheby's, but you screwed people out of their homes.
You could justify it all you want, but you're no fucking Robin Hood. Just a petty crook.
And when you got out, what then? We're supposed to believe you were squeaky clean?
You know what? You're a real piece of work. I came from nothing. I worked my ass off and gave everything that I had to get to where I was. And unlike me, my children are not going to wonder where their next fucking meal are going to come from, or if they're going to have a roof over their head, and they never will, because that's my legacy. You wouldn't know anything about that, though. Just a petty crook, and so all you could think about is yourself.
Yes, yes, you're both very big, very tough men. The rest of us are terribly impressed. Now, if we could keep this moving.
Here, you read the next one.
And then there was one. Alexandria Lucia Dragomir. 27 years old. She catered the party that Kendall held. She already told us about the saffron. The two guests got sick. She badmouthed you around town. Yada, yada, yada. That's pretty much what she told us.
See?
Which is still a pretty good motive for murder.
Is that really all there is?
Looks like...
What?
It's not much, but...
What is it?
She knew about the park bench, the one that was dosed. Apparently her and Kendall met there the week before the gala. According to Mr. Ekstrom's notes, she never disclosed this to the police.
If the police didn't know, how did Ekstrom find out?
Presumably that's why somebody hires a private detective.
I knew about the bench, but I didn't kill her. I mean, I know it looks bad, but that's the truth.
Well, the reason we're all here is to test that out. Because we can't take anybody at their word.
The next section deals with Kendall's death. I suggest we look into that as well. She arrived at the park at 6:40 a.m., 20 minutes before her usual time. It says that she'd been nervous recently. Her deal for a small Egyptian statue had just gone sour. She was paranoid, so she took the statue everywhere she went. The night before, her assistant saw her wrap it in a sheet of packing material and slip it into her purse. The same purse Kendall had the morning that she died.
Wait a minute. The deal with Kendall that fell through. You were trying to help her sell my grandmother's statue?
Yes, but you have to understand, I didn't know the personal details. All I knew is that she had a piece that she was keen to sell. Apparently she wanted to get some money so she could make a bid on something called the Sagamore Stripe.
Strip. It's called the Sagamore Strip.
Whatever.
It's a parcel of land. Everybody and their mother has bid on it, but the owner has no intention of selling.
But the deal didn't go through. In fact, you should be thanking me. If I hadn't fucked it all up, the statue would be in some private vault in Berlin.
If you hadn't gotten involved, it might not have been in danger in the first place.
Do you think I'm the only one who does this sort of thing? Who do you think she talked to after she fired me?
Hey! We need to stop all this squabbling. We're not here to sling mud at one another. We're here to catch a killer. Good. May I continue? Good.
Kendall leaves her car and starts walking towards the path. It appears as though she's going to take her usual route. Someone else was in the parking lot. They said they saw Kendall walking away from the car as if nothing was wrong. The unnamed bystander saw Becky emerge from the trail and turn her head when Kendall called. They were just beginning to talk when the bystander entered the trail. Kendall asked Becky about the store and if Becky was entering an upcoming 5K, and at the end of the conversation, Kendall patted Becky's shoulder. Becky started walking towards her car, but she'd only gone a few steps when she heard Kendall cry for help. When she turned, she saw Kendall lying on the ground. Becky ran over to help, but there was nothing she could do. Kendall grabbed her hand and made a horrible crackling sound as she struggled for air. Then the life drained from her eyes. The other person heard Becky screaming and ran to the parking lot. Kendall was lying on the ground with Becky crouched down beside her. Becky was sobbing, and Kendall was dead.
I can't. I can't be here. I have to go.
Jesus Christ.
Christ what, Reese?
It's the first time I've heard it in such detail before.
Well, murder's a dirty business.
I'd better make sure she's okay.
Okay, can we continue then? Or
This is getting pretty intense. Maybe we ought to stop.
Look, this wasn't my idea. But if we're gonna do it, let's do it. We can't afford to stop every time someone gets upset.
Especially her.
Yeah, well, some people aren't cut out for the ugliness of the real world. Okay. The next part's all about Kendall. She ran her real estate business. She did most of her work downtown. She had just signed a letter of intent for the Sagamore Strip.
Wait, she had a letter of intent for the Sagamore Strip?
I don't see how that matters.
Not in her murder, no, but that would have been the real estate coup of a lifetime.
What's the Sagamore Strip?
It's a land parcel, nestled between Valley National Park and Metro City Parks.
Between? I thought they ran together.
That's a common mistake. Basically, it's 30 square miles of underdeveloped, pristine land. I mean, can you imagine that?
Wow. And I'd have thought some asshole would want to put condos there.
Are you kidding me? The right developer could be making a fortune off of it. A strip like that nestled between a rich suburb like Brecksville? Oh, man. Well, the problem is the owners of it. They've got properties all the way from Pittsburgh to Toledo, all locked up in a land trust. Oh, man. But that doesn't stop any of the developers from throwing in on a bid on it. But they've got a ton of money. They don't seem to care about that. Old man Hiram just turns down offers left and right. But if Kendall could have put together a deal on this, man, that'd be incredible.
That's all very interesting, but she never actually bought the land. She was $6 million short. Plus, she was liquidating personal assets to raise the cash.
Which explains why she was so pissed when Gordon tried to screw her over.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't help us get any closer to the killer.
No. Fortunately not.
Hey. That got pretty intense.
It was awful. I thought I'd gotten over it by now, but I guess I'm just too fragile.
Don't say that.
Why not? They are. You think I don't know what people say about me when my back is turned? My therapist said I'd get over it eventually, but God damn it, how the fuck long is it supposed to take?
Listen, there's no schedule for this kind of thing.
I just want it to be over.
We all do.
Yeah, right. But not all of us are in the same boat. No one else had to watch Kendall die. No one else exposed her to...
It's not your fault. Whoever dosed the bench, that's the person who's really responsible.
If you think that's supposed to be reassuring, then I don't know what...
Listen, look, I'm sorry, all right? This must be really hard for you. That's because you have a soul. I think Reese would have paid money to watch Kendall die.
I wish I could live that day over again. Change what happened.
Me too. I'd have a better alibi. Look, we're all here for the same reason. One of them murdered Kendall. Question is, which one of them did it?
We're spinning our wheels on this thing. What else does the notebook say?
One page says, remember to check files. I don't know what that means.
How do we even know this Ekstrom character solved the murder? He could be calling us all together to bluff us into confessing who did it.
Maybe, but that doesn't mean we can't work the same way.
Hard to bluff when you know each other's hands. I think this was a bad idea.
Well, we're in it now, so let's see what we can see.
Right.
Let's be honest. We all had a good reason to want Kendall dead. And except for Becky out there, none of us have been particularly forthcoming. We need to stop pussyfooting around this, okay? Even if Lars didn't solve it, one of us killed him all the same. Who among us has the capacity to kill 2 people?
Did any of you know one another before today? It's just there's something that's been bothering me for a little while. Maybe it's nothing.
No, what is it?
It's just Gordon and Becky. They never met before, right? Clearly she's still suffering from PTSD, but Gordon, he seems awfully eager to cozy up to her, doesn't he?
Maybe he's just the protective type.
Or maybe he's just a creep.
At first I just thought he was being kind, but what if he's trying to make us think that he's nicer than he really is? I mean, think of all the things he's done. Does he seem like the kind of guy who goes out of his way to provide comfort?
No, I think if being an asshole meant anything, then Reese would be our killer. But it doesn't, so.
But Reese is an asshole. He's not pretending to be anything else. But Gordon, it's like he's two different people.
Thank you?
His beef with Kendall only happened a couple of weeks before the murder.
Sure, but it's all circumstantial. Is there anything actually tying him to the murder? Gordon Stefaner, 37 years old, angry with Kendall, deal fell through. This is all stuff we already know.
What?
He provided art for Aunt Kendall's party. He was at the party that Alex catered.
He would have had access to everything, all of our planning documents. He would have had access to the menus, the decor.
Why does that matter?
It listed her allergy to saffron.
Oh, shit.
I knew. Obviously, I assume Hope knew it too.
Admittedly, handling her paperwork was one of my duties.
Now we're narrowing down suspects.
Not so fast. Okay, we're not accusing anybody. Not yet.
Well, I think I'd like to ask Mr. Stefaner some questions. How about you?
Very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think we really have a chance to solve this thing?
I don't know. The caterer is pretty headstrong, but she doesn't seem very bright. It's the lawyer that we have to watch out for.
Watch out for? What does that mean?
This whole thing is unnerving, right? We came here to solve a murder, but we ended up causing one instead.
Yeah, whoever hired him must feel pretty guilty right now.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I said whoever hired him must feel pretty guilty.
Right. But who?
I don't... Wait, where are you...
Back to the others. It's been in front of us the whole time.
Okay.
Good, you're back. Now you can answer.
Who hired the detective?
What?
Who hired Lars Ekstrom? It's a pretty simple question.
Why does it matter?
If it doesn't matter, then why hasn't anyone said anything about it? Why the charade? At least one of us knew the reason why we were all coming here today. Remember how confused we all were when we first got here? Someone is playing dumb.
Doesn't make sense. Why would somebody pretend they didn't know?
Wouldn't it rule them out as the killer?
You're assuming that hiring him would exonerate him. Why?
Because why would the murderer invite the world's greatest detective to come look at their crime?
That's exactly my point. If it were that simple, why not say something? Unless you've got a guilty conscience.
I'm confused.
There's another reason for hiring him.
Such as?
Still trying to figure that part out.
Come on.
This is getting ridiculous.
Okay, maybe it had something to do with Kendall's affairs. Or the case. Are there any legal consequences to closing the case, besides the killer getting arrested?
Well, yes, actually.
Such as?
Such as, there's a clause in Kendall's will that stipulates that any unassigned assets will be donated to charity after the 1-year anniversary of her death. Scranton Road Legal Clinic, if I remember correctly.
Wait, what?
And if the case is closed, who gets those assets then?
Several people. Her partner Georgia, her personal assistant Kennedy, her close friend Seth, and me.
But if that's motive to kill her, then why risk getting Lars involved at all? You don't still get paid if you kill her, right?
That's correct. State law prohibits inheriting assets from anyone you've helped murder.
Then we're back to where we started. Why hire the detective at all?
Because you want the money. You want the case closed.
And maybe you didn't do it. I didn't hire him. I was just saying.
Right. Well, whoever did hire him knew that hiring him would make them look guilty. So they must have had access to the will.
That's half the people in this room.
Yes, it is.
Wait, I still don't get it. Kendall wasn't expecting to be murdered. Why would she insert a clause about this in her will?
It's not about murder. It's about probate. By the stipulations of her will, the details of her death are incidental. Kendall didn't want people fighting over her estate. She'd seen it happen before. She didn't want to see her friends and family fighting like starved hyenas over her corpse. The ticking clock clause is a poison pill that forces everyone to the table. However, since the murder was never solved and the case never closed, there are still portions of her estate that are in escrow. And they'll remain that way until all interested parties are officially cleared by the police, closing the case. Until then, no unassigned assets will be dispersed or leftover properties claimed. Then there's insurance, trusts, correcting...
So the issue is that the police haven't closed the case.
Correct. Even without arresting anyone for her murder, the authorities can still classify Kendall's case as inactive. With that being said, the remains of her estate will be dispersed according to Kendall's wishes.
Leaving the killer to collect their share of the money.
But why the hell would the killer want the world's best detective sniffing around?
Because you're arrogant enough to think you're going to get away with it. Think about it. Why is this case even still open?
What?
The local cops. The case is still open after a year. Why? Are there new suspects? Are there new leads? Have you heard jack squat from them?
What's your point, Gordon?
My point is, we're in the middle of nowhere. The police have nothing better to do. They spend most of their time harassing speeders on the turnpike. So why close the case? You're not some big city division worried about clearance rates. And besides, everyone hated Kendall, so there's no one is demanding action. Put yourself in their shoes. This is probably the first murder you've had in over a decade. So you're in no hurry to finish this thing. It's like a puzzle, a mystery. They're in no rush to close this case.
I still don't see why you should involve Mr. Ekstrom.
Because the killer probably has a payday coming to them on the other side of this thing. A payday that the police are putting in jeopardy by not closing the case.
I understand that, but why hire Ekstrom?
Because it makes it easier for the cops to admit defeat.
It does?
How?
Imagine you're the police. You're probably keeping this case open because you think someday you're going to solve it. And then in walks the world's greatest detective. He investigates, he talks to a couple suspects, maybe he even asks to see your case files. I mean, that would explain how his notebook had information we had only ever given the cops. But he doesn't solve it. He leaves empty-handed. Where does that leave you?
Case closed.
You're just small-time cops. You're not Lars Ekstrom, world-famous detective. HBO isn't making a mini-series about you. If he couldn't solve it...
Then what chance do you have?
Precisely.
Seems pretty weak to me.
Then what else could it be?
I thought he was going to solve the murder. Yes, that's right, I called him. Gasp, shock, get over it. I hired Lars because I wanted him to catch Kendall's killer. And yes, I know that I had money coming towards me, but the real reason I wanted him to catch the killer was because I'm tired of people whispering behind my back. I'm tired of being a pariah. I want my good name back. That's not going to happen until the killer's behind bars.
So your first thought was to call a television detective?
My first thought was to trust the police. 6 months later, that ship has sailed. Then I saw Lars's special on HBO. After every episode, they have a number you can call, the tip line. I called it. Lars called me personally. He said it sounded intriguing. I thought the solution to all of my problems had finally arrived. Surely the world-famous Lars Ekstrom could solve this.
He might have.
Look at where that got him.
Really, Reese?
Well, Perry Mason, what's next?
I don't know. I kind of thought that was a big deal.
We are getting nowhere. We should just call the police.
We will. At midnight. Look, we started this thing. We've got to see it through.
Are you... Fuck it. What about you, Gordo?
What about me?
From where I stand, you had the most immediate motive. Reese had been out of jail for months. Alex had moved on. I've been trying to get my statue back for almost a year, and Aunt Kendall fired Heather before that. Meanwhile, your deal with Kendall fell through less than a month before she died. Of all of us, you have the freshest wound.
I noticed how you deftly passed over the fact that you told Kendall to drop dead just a week before her murder.
Oh, come on. You think I would have said that to her if I really meant to kill her? Do you think I'm that stupid?
I don't have any evidence to the contrary.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
You're the only other person who knew how much Aunt Kendall's statue was worth.
please.
Maybe you stole it. Maybe you're still planning to sell it.
Look, you're really getting on my nerves. I'm trying to solve this thing. I'm not trying to settle scores.
Oh, get over yourself.
You know what I need? A bit of peace and quiet, away from you.
Wait a minute. What happened to seeing this thing through?
I'm not leaving. I'm going back to my room to think. 2:35. Got it?
Well, it's 7 o'clock. I guess I'll go back and eat my dinner.
Dinner? From where?
I packed a sandwich.
Maybe I'll order out a pizza. Anybody want in on that?
Nobody delivers out here.
How do you know?
I lived at Kendall's for 4 years. It's a half mile down 303.
Well, that's just great.
There's a vending machine in the office.
So are we giving up the ghost on this thing, or what?
Maybe we should.
We made a deal.
Yeah, back when we thought we had a chance to solve this thing.
We're still the ones with the most to lose if this doesn't get solved. Okay, let's just take a break, get dinner, and recharge our batteries.
We're already in this, aren't we? The police are going to be angry that we didn't call. Rationally, the best thing to do is see it through.
All right, let's take a break. Eat, take a little nap, do what you need to do. It's just past 7 right now, so meet back here, say, 9 p.m.?
Fine. What a fucking day, right?
I'll say.
So, what do you think of Gordon?
What about him?
Do you think he killed Kendall?
He's been really nice to me all day.
Sure, but does that mean he didn't do it?
Everyone here wanted her dead, but there's not a lot of actual evidence to anyone. It's all just hearsay and innuendo.
Listen, so I have an idea.
What?
If Gordon is actually innocent, you could be the one to help him clear his name, and if he's guilty...
He didn't kill her.
Then let's prove it.
What are you suggesting?
I've got a voice recorder app on my phone. With the phone in your pocket, walk down to Gordon's room. Tell him you want to make sure he's okay. Get him talking. Then you tell him that you would understand if he'd killed Kendall. In fact, tell him that you think she deserved it. You don't want the police to solve this. You think she had it coming. And if he needs help covering his tracks...
I don't know. He's been so kind to me all day.
If he didn't do it, then you're helping him prove his innocence.
Damn it. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
You're not the one I expected them to send?
That's not, The group is taking a break. We're supposed to meet back at 9.
Okay.
That's not why I came.
Then why are you here?
It's just, when I had to walk out the room, you came out to talk to me, so
So this is you returning the favor?
I guess you could say that.
Well, then come on in. I wanted to be alone, but I'm glad you came.
Yeah?
It's been so lonely the last year. I feel like I've always been looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like what you've been through, but...
It's not easy, I get it.
Sure.
And all this for Kendall. God, what a bitch.
That she was.
Honestly, I can't even blame whoever did it.
What do you mean?
I mean, I understand it. She kind of deserved it, right?
She did piss off a lot of people.
I'm just saying, whoever did this probably did the right thing. I mean, as awful as it sounds, she was not a good person. Maybe the world's better off without her.
It's one way to put it.
I mean, I'm not saying murder is a good thing, but I'm just saying that the world is better off without some people. Like Hitler and Saddam Hussein.
Are you comparing Kendall to Saddam Hussein?
Look, I'm not saying she tortured anybody, but on balance, maybe the world's better off without her. I think it's a fair question.
What are you doing?
Huh?
Why are you acting like this?
I don't know what you're...
Who put you up to this?
I don't know what
No, you're lying to me. Who put you up to this?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Who?
She said it would be a chance to clear your name.
You've got some fucking nerve, you know that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
To accuse me of murder, that's one thing. That's why we're here, right? But to send her in after me, to bait me, like some kind of fucking honey trap, that's fucking low.
Honey trap?
Oh, don't play games with me, you little cunt. You seem very eager to put this blame on me. Why don't we take a closer look at you?
Go right ahead, motherfucker. I got nothing to hide.
We've all got things to hide, sweetheart, and trust me, I'm gonna find it. You're gonna regret coming after me.
Here.
So I'm guessing things didn't go according to plan.
Not really, no.
Hello?
There's a package waiting for you in the front office.
The fuck?
You just gotta get over it.
He was the only person who actually seemed to care about me.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Haven't I been nice to you?
Because you're using me. God, I'm such a terrible person.
Don't say that.
It's true. I'm not a good person. 2 people are dead and it's all my fault.
Oh, stop being so fucking melodramatic.
I just want to die.
Listen. You gotta stop blaming yourself. All this negativity, it isn't good for you.
I'm going outside.
What for?
Because I want to.
I thought I heard thunder.
So?
It's going to rain.
Are you afraid you're going to melt?
Why do you want to go for a walk so bad?
Because it's almost 9 o'clock, and once we're back, there's no chance we're leaving until midnight. Then the cops are going to come, and who knows how long that will take. This could be our last chance to be outside. Do you want to spend it staring at Twitter?
Just don't leave me. If they see me wandering off alone, it'll look suspicious. If we're together...
Isn't all people are good for something you can use?
Please.
Let's go this way.
Why?
Because I feel like it.
Jackpot.
Hey,
What?
that car, the window's been broken.
Whose car is it?
I don't know. It's a rental.
Whose rental is it?
I'm looking. Lars Ekstrom.
We should go.
Hold on.
He was just murdered. Maybe we should...
Don't be such a baby. Come on. What have we here? It looks like Lars had a file on you.
On me? Didn't he have a file on everyone?
Probably, yeah, but it looks like someone has got here first. And clearly whatever file they were looking for, they wanted to make sure disappeared.
Fuck.
Jesus, you really are high strung, aren't you? Come on, it's almost 9 o'clock. And the others are gonna want to hear about this.
Give me that!
Hey, get the fuck off me!
Give me that, you bitch!
What the hell is going on?
This little bitch stole something from my room.
I'm collecting evidence.
Oh, bullshit! Give it back!
Whoa. Here, let me have that. Don't worry, I won't give it back.
Hey!
I thought we were supposed to meet again at 9. If this is evidence, we'll talk about it then.
I think that's a great idea.
You're aiding theft.
Do you have something to hide, Miss Marks?
Yes? It's mine. It's none of your business. It's none of
That's
your
where
business.
you're wrong, all right? As long as we're all in this together, this is my business.
Did something happen?
Not yet. Come on.
Okay, let's get started. It's getting late, and we've all had plenty of time to think about this.
Let me start. Miss Marks acted as if her business with Kendall was over months before the murder, but she was owed millions in Kendall's will.
Yes, but we already knew that.
Read the letter.
What's that?
A letter from Kendall informing Miss Marks that she was planning on having her will updated. If Kendall had lived another week, Heather would have lost millions.
Yes, I received the letter, but that didn't provide me with any more reason to want her dead.
Like hell it didn't.
I thought she had me removed from the will when she fired me. I'd spent the last few months trying to get my new practice off the ground. That was all I cared about. Her murder ruined everything. Don't you people realize that? You think I care about money?
Everyone cares about money.
I spent my entire career catering to the rich. All their money ever did was get them into trouble. All I want is to be able to live my life, to have my career, to be someone. Killing Kendall wouldn't accomplish that. Her murder's what smothered my dreams.
Expect us to believe that?
You can believe whatever you want.
It makes sense to me.
You're kidding.
No, it makes sense.
Well then, who did it? Who killed Kendall?
Funny you should ask, Reese. Why don't you tell us how you hurt your wrist?
What are you talking about?
A few hours ago you were fine, but you've been nursing it since we got back in here. What happened?
I strained it when I tried to.
Break a car window?
Listen, whoa. It's not what that looks like.
Well, what does it look like?
Yeah, what's going on?
Reese, Becky and I saw it. Okay, the broken car window, the files.
It's not what it looks like.
Will someone please tell me what's going on?
When we were reading about Kendall and Lars's notebook, wasn't there a note saying, check files, something like that?
Yeah, I remember it.
What files? The notebook had the most important information, but that can't be everything he had on us. No, those were his personal thoughts. But what about the raw intel, the actual evidence? Lars kept detailed files. When Reese saw that reference in the notebook, he pieced it together. Then when we broke for dinner, he went to Lars's car, broke the window, and stole the files.
What car?
This is ridiculous. You don't have any proof.
It's parked around out back.
So what if there's a car out there? What does that prove?
You missed one, Reese.
Shit.
Where are the other files?
Listen, I know what this looks like, and
What did you do with them?
I burned them. But it's not what it looks like.
Really? Because it looks like you've destroyed all of the evidence.
So what, Kendall sends you to prison, so this is what, some sort of revenge or something?
It's pretty damning, Reese.
No, that's not it. I can explain.
Can you really?
I can. Look. When I was in jail, I was angry. Angry at Kendall, yes, but angry at myself. I lost everything. Not just the prestige or money. I lost my family.
If you think that makes you sound any less guilty.
Sometimes it takes losing something to learn how much it meant to you. How much someone meant. When I got out, I found out that my ex-wife had died in a car accident, and our daughter Elizabeth She was 20 and she was on her own. I reached out to her, told her I wanted to be in her life. She was reluctant, to say the least. It took me months to try to convince her to meet with me. When we did, we just clicked. She's been my new business partner ever since. Of course, the banks would never give me a loan. But my old business partners, however, they appreciated my discretion. See, I didn't give up anybody that the FBI hadn't already nailed. But this wasn't out of kindness on my part. See, they used me to make dirty money clean again. I just took a couple million off the top. And in my industry, that's just chicken feed. It was just enough for me to get on my feet again. But dirty money taints everything. In the eyes of the law, it'd be a violation of my parole. If the FBI ever found out, I'd stand to lose everything. But even still, I made that choice. I will face the consequences. It's Elizabeth that's in danger. See, her name is on all the paperwork. She doesn't know what I'm doing. She's innocent. But the FBI wouldn't care. They'd go after her just the same. She doesn't deserve to have her name smeared because of my choices. I'd die before I'd let that happen.
Would you kill for it?
I didn't know this was about Kendall's murder before I came here. When the courier came with the letter, I just thought it was another competitor trying to blackmail me. I didn't know this was about the murder.
That's all very convenient, Reese. The perfect reason to burn your file. But why burn the others?
Because I didn't kill anybody. But how would it look if you guys found all the files and I didn't have one? Besides, the police were going to find that car eventually.
Sounds like bullshit.
I have a kid too. I haven't seen her in 5 years. So I almost want to believe you, Reese. Despite everything I know about you. I almost want to believe it. But
I didn't kill anyone.
How can you expect us to believe that?
Because I didn't. I didn't do it.
I think I'd better call the police.
What time is it?
Who cares? We've got our killer.
I didn't do it. I'm not a murderer.
I knew you were cold from the start.
It's not me. I didn't do it.
Sure, you and OJ can bond over your hunt for the real killers.
Stop!
What is it?
The killer.
What about him?
It's not Reese. Reese didn't kill Aunt Kendall.
Then who did?
Gordon!
What? No!
Lock the door, will ya?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So who did it?
The person who's been telling us she did it all along. Becky.
What?
Her?
But I thought she was just a patsy.
That's where we've been wrong the whole time. The police, too. Her being there when Kendall died made the perfect cover.
I'm sorry, I still don't understand.
Let's go back a little over a year. Aunt Kendall and Becky have seen each other when they're out exercising. They speak sometimes. They're relatively friendly. Then, one day, Kendall begins to talk about how excited she is. She's got a deal to buy the Sagamore Strip, 25 square miles of some of the most valuable land in the state. She expects her friend to be happy. Becky is anything but. This is a woman whose vanity license plate says nature lover, remember? She hears Kendall's plans and she's horrified. They argue. Becky storms off. Okay. The next day, she approaches Aunt Kendall on the trail and tries to talk her out of it. To keep the land pristine, to make it an actual park. Aunt Kendall, true to form, blows her off. Becky is desperate. Miles of pristine land will be ruined. The metro parks and the national park will be broken apart forever. Until she comes up with an answer. It's bold, even harsh, but it's the only way to keep the land from being developed. The two women have exchanged recipes before, and Kendall let slip her one serious affliction, her allergy to saffron.
Dosing the bench?
Who would think to look there? If Aunt Kendall had died with no one around, they might have just thought that she had a reaction to something on the trail. Even if they discovered the saffron on the bench, how would they know to start looking at Becky? Because That's what Becky used to explain why she was covered in saffron, because she knew the bench was loaded with it because she placed it there.
You said you had proof.
Lars had some, and Becky provided the rest today.
Such as?
Apparently, Aunt Kendall kept a diary. In it, she described some of the recipes that she had shared with her new jogging friend, Becca. Typical. She couldn't even be bothered to learn her own so-called friend's name. Still, she wrote about how Becca loved Indian food, and that's why Kendall had to explain why she couldn't eat very much of it. Then there's the argument, another item in Kendall's journal. As for the other clues, they've been right in front of us the whole time. We just overlooked them.
Such as?
When we stormed Lars's room, only Gordon and I admitted to knowing who Lars was. Yet Lars visited Becky less than a week before, posing as a journalist. Still, she pretended to not know who he was. Awfully strange for someone with nothing to hide. Then there's my statue, the one that Gordon tried to sell. Aunt Kendall had it on her when she died. That's why Gordon and I were suspects. Now, take a look at this photo Lars took last week. And there were other things. We all already knew that Becky was the one who actually deposited the saffron on Kendall, but Aunt Kendall always carried an EpiPen nearby. The only reason why she wouldn't have used it is if someone took it from her in the parking lot, and by her own admission, Becky was the only one there.
But why lurk in the shadows? Wouldn't that just make her look more suspicious?
I wasn't lurking. I was trying to go home. I'd arrived early to plant the powder on the bench. When Kendall arrived later, she would have a reaction when she sat down. She keeps her EpiPen in her purse, and she keeps her purse in her car during her runs. I meant to be at the store before she died. No one would think to connect me to the crime. I didn't want to get caught, but I also didn't want to frame anyone. But then she arrived early. She called my name, and before I realized what's happening, she's apologizing for how she treated me.
Holy shit.
I never thought she'd apologize. She wasn't like that. That was the last thing I expected, but that's what she did. I watched it happen. I was horrified. I never thought that was what it's going to look like. And then she goes toward her car. I realized that if she gets to her purse, then all of this is for nothing. So I grabbed it first, and I put it into my car. And then I pulled out my phone and called 911.
But you kept the statue. Why?
Because I'm a klutz. I mean, Kendall's purse spilled all over my backseat. I tried to throw everything away, but I didn't even see the statue, not until weeks later when I was cleaning out my car. And at that point, why throw it away? It was nice. If I had known that that's what it was, I wouldn't have kept it. I would have given it back.
Wait, that's what you feel guilty about?
I feel guilty for everything. For having to kill Kendall, for Lars. I just wanted the wildlife to be protected. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But I don't regret it.
Oh, please.
You know what? Go fuck yourself. You hated her as much as I did. Kendall was a bad person. She made the world a worse place to live. None of you are sad that she's dead. You just want someone else to blame.
Excuse me, you just admitted to murdering 2 people. Where do you get off judging us?
2 people? Yes. But 2 people who frankly each had it coming. You all knew what kind of person Kendall was. The lives she ruined, the people she hurt. And if I hadn't acted, millions of animals, miles and miles of pristine wilderness was all about to be destroyed because Kendall was greedy. Each of you knew what kind of person she was, but none of you had the moral courage to do a damn thing about it. So yes, I admit it. I did a terrible thing. The guilt I feel, it is eating me up inside, but at least I can look myself in the mirror every night and know that I took a stand. Because of me, that land is safe for generations to come. It won't be razed so some asshole can build another strip mall.
Oh, please. Nobody builds strip malls anymore.
Sorry, you think that her not being a good person gives you the right to kill her?
I didn't want to have to kill her. I tried to reason with her. I tried to convince her to do one good thing for once in her goddamn life. But she wouldn't listen. She wouldn't see reason. So I had no choice. For the last year, that day has been living over and over in my head. I hated myself for having to do it. I mean, you people think you're all Jesus nailed to the cross, but I'm the one who had to watch her die. I'm the one who has to see her clawing at her throat every night. And just when I think I'm past this mess, just when I think I'm over it, some Swedish weirdo calls saying that he's from Pom Pom Quarterly and wants to do a profile for me and my store. I saw through that immediately. I mean, have you people seen Pom Pom Quarterly, the production values? They're not doing photo spreads on a cell phone. And then all the interview questions kept veering back to the last year. Like, how often did you go jogging? What kind of things did you do for exercise? Did you go running with anyone else? I am not Nancy Drew, but I know when I'm being played a fool. And then, 2 days ago, I got a letter the same as you. I decided to come here last night to explain myself. I didn't plan on doing anything. I just wanted him to see reason. I begged him to reconsider. I mean, we argued for so long I had to take my medication. And that was when he went to grab his phone. That smug slime ball waited until I was at my weakest. I had the insulin pen in my hand and that fucker smiled at me. He was pleased as punch that his smug little theory turned out to be true. He didn't even care that Kendall was murdered. He just wanted to be right. God, he thought he was so special. I've known too many men like him. Turns out, Lars was just as selfish as Kendall. So I had no choice. When he went to grab his phone, I jabbed the insulin pen into his neck. And then I dialed another dose, and I jabbed him again. I didn't even realize what was happening. He fell over and had the most horrible seizure. And once he was dead, I knew I had to get out of there. So I pulled the last few pages out of the notebook, and I closed the door. And then the next day, I came here just as the letter instructed.
And then you hoped one of us would take the fall.
None of this was my idea. I didn't want to stick around. I wanted to go home. Just like Reese said, the cops couldn't finish a game of Clue. I figured we could all go free. I mean, even when you had this dumb idea to stick around, I figured we could all just go home.
And when we stayed, you didn't think that this would work, that we wouldn't catch you?
Why would you want to? Kendall was a shitty person, and Lars was a liar and a fraud. Why couldn't we all just walk away?
You can say whatever you want. It doesn't change the fact that you've killed 2 people.
Please. Kendall hardly qualifies. Maybe 1.5 people.
You really are nuts, aren't you?
And to think we all felt sorry for you.
Yeah, maybe you did. Nothing makes you happier than getting to look your nose down at someone.
I think it's time we called the police.
I couldn't agree more.
Please, you don't have to do that. We could all just go. We could all just go home.
Right.
Please.
Yeah, I'd like to speak with the police. Yes, I'll hold.
If you let him call, I will tell the police about you and your daughter. I will ruin her.
Is that who you are? You already ruined your life. Are you so determined to drag someone else down with you?
I didn't deserve this.
I will not help you get away with murder.
You all know she deserved it.
Yes, I'm at the Falls Inn on Route 303. I'd like to report a murder.
Kendall was a horrible person. That doesn't mean you get to kill her.
I don't need your approval. That stretch of wilderness wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me. I don't regret a goddamn thing.
Absolutely insane. Like, I don't know, I thought, you know, I didn't mean to. Officers are on that I brought you to unit at all. Stand by.
Mess.
Right? I never would have expected it to be her.
Can't trust anyone.
Well, I don't think that's true.
You kidding me?
I thought the girl was traumatized, but not a psychopath. Besides, look at us.
What about us?
Every one of us hated Kendall. I really hated her. But we managed to bring her killer to justice.
Sure. Some people are about to make a lot of money, though.
All I'm saying is that it's in vogue to think that people in general are garbage. But this group of scumbags, we managed to do the right thing.
Awfully optimistic for a con man.
I'm not a con man.
Yes, you are.
All I did was skim a little off the top.
The memories faded. I forgot there were secrets. Nobody told me to let them go. In order to do so, I had to unleash them. I needed instruction. To beg them, to vet them, to vet them, to spell them backwards and forwards, inside and out. Release them, unfold, to will them, to beg them, to spell them, and then them backwards and forwards, inside and out. All of them back to bed then.
This is quite a strange case. They're saying my crew is not here to film this. It would have been the perfect one to end the show with. Yeah, the perfect way to end.